there. So let me ask you something. Do you remember the hardest exam you ever took? That test that made you feel completely unprepared, overwhelmed, maybe even terrified? Or maybe you remember a class where no matter how hard you studied, you just couldn't understand the material. Or a professor whose teaching style didn't match your learning style at all. Or maybe you remember that moment when you looked at your grade and thought, I'm not smart enough for this. I can't do this. I should just quit. We've all been there, right? Academic challenges. They're real. They're stressful. They can shake your confidence and make you question your abilities. But here's the thing. Almost everyone who's achieved academic success has faced these challenges. The difference isn't that successful students don't struggle. It's that they've developed strategies for overcoming their struggles. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today.
Oh, Emily, you're touching on something that brings back so many memories for me. Not all of them pleasant, honestly. I remember my first year of university. I thought I was prepared. I'd done well in high school. I was confident. And then I got to university and was completely overwhelmed. The pace was faster, the material was harder, the expectations were higher, and I had no idea how to manage it all. I failed my first major exam. Failed it. I'd never failed anything before, and I seriously considered dropping out. I thought maybe I wasn't cut out for higher education.
But you didn't drop out, did you?
No, I didn't. I figured out what I was doing wrong. I developed better study strategies. I learned to ask for help. I adapted. And by my second year, I was doing much better. But that first year was brutal. It taught me that academic success isn't just about being smart. It's about resilience, strategy, and knowing how to overcome challenges.
Exactly. Welcome to English Club Podcast. I'm Emily, and I'm here with my friend Paul, and we're so glad you're here with us today. This is our space where we learn English together while exploring topics that matter for your education and personal growth.
Today, we're diving deep into academic challenges. What are the most common challenges students face? Why do these challenges feel so overwhelming? What strategies actually work for overcoming them? How do you stay motivated when things get hard? And how do you develop the resilience and skills needed for academic success?
This topic is so important because education opens doors. A good education can transform your life, your career, your opportunities, but the path to educational success is rarely smooth. It's filled with obstacles, setbacks, frustrations, and moments of self-doubt. If you don't know how to navigate these challenges, you might give up just before you would have succeeded.
Plus, being able to discuss academic topics, challenges, and strategies in English is crucial if you're studying in an English-speaking environment or reading academic materials in English. The vocabulary we'll learn today is essential for academic contexts.
By the end of this episode, you're going to understand the common academic challenges students face. You're going to learn practical strategies for overcoming these challenges. You're going to have all the vocabulary you need to discuss academic topics in English. And hopefully, you're going to feel empowered
To tackle your own academic challenges with confidence. And hey, before we dive in, if you're enjoying this podcast, please like and subscribe to our channel for more English learning podcasts. It really helps us create more content for you. Your support means everything.
Okay, so let's start by identifying common academic challenges, because recognizing what you're dealing with is the first step to overcoming it. Paul, what do you think is the most common academic challenge students face?
I think time management is probably at the top of the list. Students have so much to juggle. Classes, assignments, reading, studying for exams, projects, and often jobs or family responsibilities on top of that. Managing all of this effectively is really difficult, especially for students who are new to higher education.
Absolutely. I see this constantly. Students underestimate how much time things will take. They procrastinate, they try to cram everything at the last minute, and then they're stressed, exhausted, and their work quality suffers. Time management isn't just about getting everything done. It's about doing things well while maintaining your mental health.
Another huge challenge is difficulty understanding course material. Sometimes the content is just genuinely difficult. It's complex, abstract, or completely new to you. You read the textbook and it might as well be written in a foreign language. You sit in lectures and feel lost. This is so discouraging.
And it's made worse when you feel like everyone else understands, but you don't. You look around the classroom and everyone seems to be nodding and taking notes confidently, and you're sitting there thinking, what are they talking about? That feeling of being the only one who doesn't get it is really isolating.
Test anxiety is another major challenge. Some students know the material well, but perform poorly on exams because anxiety interferes with their ability to think clearly. The pressure of timed exams, the fear of failure, the worry about grades, all of this creates stress that actually impairs performance.
I experienced this in statistics class. I understood the concepts when studying, but during exams, my mind would go blank, my heart would race, my hands would shake. The anxiety was so intense that I couldn't access the knowledge I actually had. It was incredibly frustrating.
Writing academic papers is another common challenge, especially for students whose first language isn't English or who haven't had much experience with formal academic writing. The expectations are different from casual writing. You need to develop arguments, cite sources properly, follow specific formats, write clearly and formally. It's a skill that takes practice.
And there's often pressure to be original and insightful, which is intimidating. How do you say something new about topics that have been studied extensively? How do you develop critical analysis rather than just summarizing what others have said? These are sophisticated skills that don't come naturally to everyone.
Motivation and focus are huge challenges too. Staying motivated for an entire semester or academic year is hard. The initial enthusiasm fades, the material becomes tedious or overwhelming. Distractions are everywhere, especially with phones and social media. Maintaining consistent focus and effort requires discipline that many students haven't developed yet.
Financial stress is a challenge that people don't talk about enough. Worrying about tuition, books, rent, food, all while trying to focus on studying. Some students work full-time while going to school full-time. They're exhausted. They can't afford the resources other students have. Financial stress creates constant background anxiety that makes everything harder.
Imposter syndrome affects many students, especially high-achieving ones. This is the feeling that you don't really belong, that you're not as competent as others think, that you've somehow fooled everyone and will eventually be exposed as a fraud. Even when you're doing well, you feel like it's luck rather than skill.
I definitely experienced this in graduate school. I was surrounded by brilliant people, and I constantly felt like I'd gotten in by mistake, like I wasn't as smart or qualified as my peers. Every success felt like I'd gotten away with something. Every struggle felt like proof that I didn't belong. It was exhausting and undermined my confidence.
Language barriers are a significant challenge for international students or anyone studying in a non-native language. Following lectures, reading dense academic texts, participating in discussions, writing papers, all in a foreign language, that's incredibly demanding. You're not just learning the subject matter, you're doing it while processing a different language.
And there are cultural differences too. Different educational systems have different expectations and norms. What's considered appropriate in one culture might be different in another. Understanding these unwritten rules can be confusing for students from different backgrounds.
Mental health challenges, including stress, anxiety, depression, affect many students. The pressure of academics, combined with social pressures, life transitions, and other stressors can be overwhelming. And mental health issues make everything harder. It's difficult to study when you're depressed. It's hard to focus when you're anxious.
And there's often stigma around mental health. Students feel they should just push through. They think asking for help is weakness. They don't access support services that could really help them. This makes the situation worse.
Lack of effective study strategies is another challenge. Many students have never been taught how to study effectively. They use inefficient methods like passive reading or highlighting without engaging with material deeply. They don't know techniques like active recall, spaced repetition, or elaborative interrogation that actually work.
And what worked in high school might not work in university. The volume of material is greater. The complexity is higher. You can't rely on memorization alone. You need to understand, analyze, synthesize. Students who don't adapt their study methods struggle.
Poor relationships with instructors or peers can create challenges too. If you don't feel comfortable asking your professor questions, you might stay confused about material. If you don't have study groups or academic friends, you miss collaborative learning opportunities. If there's conflict with classmates, it creates stress.
Balancing academic work with personal life is challenging. Students have relationships, families, social lives, hobbies, jobs. Finding time for everything while prioritizing studies is really difficult. Some students sacrifice everything for academics and burnout. Others neglect their studies for other things and struggle academically.
Now, let's talk about why academic challenges feel so overwhelming. Because objectively, these are solvable problems, but subjectively, they can feel insurmountable. Why?
I think one reason is stakes. Academic performance often has high stakes. Your grades affect your ability to continue in your program, to get scholarships, to access future opportunities. When failure feels like it could derail your entire future, the pressure is immense. Every exam, every assignment feels critically important.
And there's identity wrapped up in it. Many students, especially high-achieving ones, have built their identity around being smart and successful academically. When they struggle, it threatens their sense of self. It's not just, I did poorly on this test. It's, I'm not the person I thought I was.
Comparison makes challenges feel worse too. You compare yourself to classmates who seem to be doing better. You see their successes on social media. You don't see their struggles. So you think everyone's doing fine except you. This makes you feel inadequate and alone in your difficulties.
There's also a snowball effect with academic challenges. When you fall behind in one area, it affects other areas. If you don't understand the foundation of a subject, you can't understand advanced concepts. If you bomb one exam, your overall grade suffers, which creates more pressure on remaining assignments. Challenges compound.
Lack of support systems makes challenges overwhelming. If you're navigating academic difficulties alone without help from professors, advisors, peers, or family, everything is harder. But asking for help can be difficult, especially if you're worried about seeming incompetent or if you don't know what resources are available.
Now, let's talk about strategies for overcoming academic challenges. Let's start with time management, since that's such a fundamental issue. How do you effectively manage your time as a student?
First, you need to understand how you're actually spending your time currently. Many students have no idea where their time goes. Track your time for a week. Write down everything you do and how long it takes. You'll probably discover you're spending more time than you realized on certain activities and less on others.
Then prioritize based on importance and deadlines. Use a system like the Eisenhower matrix. Urgent and important tasks go first. Important but not urgent tasks get scheduled. Urgent but not important tasks get delegated or minimized. Neither urgent nor important tasks get eliminated.
Create a realistic schedule. Block out time for classes, obviously, but also block out time for studying, assignments, reading. Treat study time like appointments you can't miss, and be realistic about how long things take. If you think an assignment will take 2 hours, budget 3.
Use a planner or digital calendar. Write down all deadlines, exams, assignments. Break larger projects into smaller tasks with their own deadlines. This prevents last-minute panic and helps you start early.
I'm a big fan of time blocking. Instead of just listing tasks, assign specific time blocks to specific activities. 9 to 11 a.m., read Chapter 5 and take notes. 11 to noon, review lecture notes from this week. This creates structure and accountability. And eliminate or minimize distractions during study time. Put your phone in another room or use apps that block distracting websites. Find a quiet study space. Let people know you're studying and can't be interrupted. Protect your focus time. Take breaks strategically. You can't focus intensely for hours without breaks. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method. Study for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles, take a longer break. This maintains focus while preventing burnout.
Now, let's talk about understanding difficult material. What do you do when course content is genuinely hard to grasp?
First, engage actively with the material rather than passively. Don't just read. Take notes in your own words. Ask questions as you read. Try to explain concepts to yourself or others. Create diagrams or visual representations. Active engagement leads to deeper understanding.
Use multiple resources. If the textbook isn't making sense, look for other explanations. Watch videos. Read different books or articles on the topic. Sometimes hearing something explained differently makes it click.
Form study groups. Discussing material with peers helps tremendously. Someone else might understand something you don't and can explain it. Teaching others solidifies your own understanding. Collaborative learning is powerful.
Go to office hours. Professors have designated times to help students. Use them. Come with specific questions. Don't just say, I don't understand anything. Say, I don't understand how this concept relates to that one, or I'm confused about this step in the problem. Specific questions get better help.
Break down complex concepts into smaller pieces. If you're overwhelmed by a big, complicated topic, identify the individual components. Master each piece before trying to understand the whole. Build understanding incrementally.
Make connections to things you already know. Our brains learn by connecting new information to existing knowledge. How does this new concept relate to something you already understand? Creating these bridges makes new information more accessible.
And recognize that understanding takes time and repetition. You won't master difficult material in one reading. You need to revisit concepts multiple times from different angles. This is normal. Be patient with the learning process.
Now, let's address test anxiety. How do you manage the stress of exams?
Preparation is the best anxiety reducer. When you're well prepared, you have confidence. Start studying early. Review material regularly throughout the semester rather than cramming right before exams. The more familiar you are with content, the less anxious you'll feel.
Practice under exam conditions. Do practice tests with a timer. This familiarizes you with the pressure and helps you develop pacing strategies. The actual exam feels less foreign when you've simulated it.
Learn relaxation techniques. Deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, visualization. Practice these before exams. When anxiety rises during a test, you can use these tools to calm yourself.
Reframe how you think about exams. Instead of viewing them as judgments of your worth, view them as opportunities to demonstrate what you've learned. They're not measuring you as a person. They're measuring your knowledge of specific material at a specific time.
Get enough sleep. Sleep before exams. I know there's a temptation to pull all-nighters studying, but sleep deprivation increases anxiety and impairs cognitive function. You'll perform better with 7 hours of sleep than with 3 extra hours of cramming.
Arrive early to exams so you're not rushed. Bring everything you need. Read instructions carefully. If your mind goes blank, skip to easier questions first to build confidence and momentum.
And if test anxiety is severe and persistent, seek help from counseling services. Anxiety is treatable. Therapy and sometimes medication can make a significant difference. There's no shame in getting professional help.
Let's talk about academic writing. How do you improve your ability to write papers and essays?
Read academic writing in your field. Notice how scholars structure arguments, use evidence, cite sources, develop ideas. Reading good writing teaches you how to write well yourself.
Understand the assignment thoroughly before starting. What is actually being asked? What are the requirements and expectations? Many students lose points simply because they didn't answer the actual question.
Start early and draft iteratively. Don't try to write a perfect paper in one sitting. Write a rough first draft just to get ideas down. Then revise, refine, reorganize. Good writing comes through revision, not first drafts.
Develop a clear thesis or argument. Academic papers need a central claim that you support with evidence. Don't just summarize information. Make an argument. Take a position. Develop analysis.
Use evidence effectively. Support your claims with credible sources. Explain how the evidence supports your argument. Don't just drop in quotes. Integrate them and analyze them.
Follow citation guidelines carefully. Learn whatever citation style your field uses. MLA, APA, Chicago, whatever it is. Proper citations demonstrate academic integrity and give credit to sources.
Get feedback. Use writing centers if your school has them. Ask professors for feedback on drafts. Peer review with classmates. Fresh eyes catch things you miss and offer valuable perspectives.
And improve your fundamental writing skills. Grammar, punctuation, sentence structure, paragraph organization, these technical skills matter in academic contexts. If you struggle with these, work on them deliberately.
Now let's discuss motivation and focus. How do you stay motivated and focused throughout a semester?
Connect your studies to your goals. Why are you getting this education? What doors will it open? When motivation wanes, remind yourself of your larger purpose. This bigger picture can re-energize you when day-to-day work feels tedious.
Break work into manageable chunks. A whole semester feels overwhelming. A whole course feels daunting. But one chapter, one assignment, one study session, these are manageable. Focus on the next small step rather than the entire mountain.
Create a productive study environment. Some people focus best in libraries. Others prefer coffee shops or their own rooms. Experiment to find what works for you, and keep that environment consistent. Your brain will associate that space with focus and work.
Reward yourself for completing tasks. After finishing an assignment, do something enjoyable. Watch an episode of a show, have a treat, take a walk. These rewards make work feel less like pure drudgery. Vary your study methods to prevent boredom. Don't just read textbooks for hours. Mix in videos, podcasts, practice problems, discussions, teaching others. Variety maintains engagement.
Set specific, achievable goals for each study session. Don't just say, I'll study biology. Say, I'll complete and understand sections 3.1 through 3.3. Specific goals create clear targets and satisfaction when achieved. And be honest about when you're genuinely burned out. Sometimes pushing through exhaustion makes things worse. Taking a real break, even a day off, can restore motivation and energy better than forcing yourself to work when you're depleted.
Let's address imposter syndrome specifically. How do you overcome that feeling of not belonging or not being good enough?
First, recognize that imposter syndrome is incredibly common, especially among high-achieving students. You're not alone in feeling this way. Many successful people experience these same doubts.
Document your achievements. Keep a record of positive feedback, good grades, accomplishments. When imposter syndrome strikes, review this evidence. It counters the irrational feelings with facts.
Share your feelings with others. When you talk about imposter syndrome, you often discover others feel the same way. This normalizes the experience and makes it less isolating.
Reframe failure and mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes don't mean you're a fraud. They mean you're learning. They're normal parts of growth, not evidence of inadequacy.
Develop self-compassion. Talk to yourself like you talk to a friend. If a friend expressed these self-doubts, what would you say? You'd probably be kind and encouraging. Give yourself that same compassion.
And focus on learning and growth rather than proving yourself. Your goal isn't to demonstrate you're the smartest person. Your goal is to learn and develop. This takes pressure off and makes education feel less like a constant test of your worth.
Now, let's talk about language barriers for students studying in non-native languages. What strategies help?
Immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Watch shows, listen to podcasts, read for pleasure in the language. The more exposure you have, the more comfortable you become.
Build your academic vocabulary systematically. Academic language is different from conversational language. Learn the specific terminology of your field. Create flashcards. Practice using academic vocabulary in your writing and speaking.
Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. If you don't understand something in class, ask. Most professors appreciate questions and want to ensure everyone comprehends. Your question might help others too.
Record lectures if allowed. You can review them later at your own pace, pausing and replaying sections you didn't catch the first time. This is especially helpful if processing the language in real time is difficult.
Use language support resources. Many universities have writing centers, language programs, conversation partners. Take advantage of these services. They're designed to help you succeed.
Read assignments multiple times. First pass for general understanding, second pass for details, third pass for analysis. Reading in a non-native language requires more time and effort. Budget for that.
And connect with other students who share
Our linguistic background. They understand the specific challenges you face and can offer strategies and support.
Let's address mental health challenges. How do students cope with stress, anxiety, or depression while managing academics?
First, and most importantly, seek professional help if you're struggling. Counseling services, therapists, psychiatrists, these professionals can provide tools and support that make a real difference. Mental health is as important as physical health. Treat it accordingly.
Maintain healthy habits even when busy. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, these aren't luxuries, they're foundations for mental health. When you neglect these, everything gets harder, including managing stress.
Set boundaries. You can't study 24/7. You need time for rest, socializing, hobbies. These aren't frivolous. They're necessary for mental well-being. Protect time for non-academic activities that restore you.
Be honest with professors when necessary. If you're going through a mental health crisis, communicate with your instructors. Most are understanding and can offer accommodations or extensions. Don't suffer in silence.
Practice stress management techniques regularly. Meditation, journaling, exercise, creative activities, whatever helps you process stress. Make these part of your routine, not just emergency measures.
And challenge perfectionism. Perfect grades aren't worth sacrificing your mental health. Sometimes good enough really is good enough. Your worth isn't determined by your GPA.
Now let's talk about building effective study strategies. What study methods actually work?
Active recall is one of the most effective techniques. Instead of passively reviewing notes, actively try to retrieve information from memory. Close your notes and write down everything you remember. Quiz yourself. This strengthens memory far more than just reading.
Spaced repetition is powerful. Review material multiple times with increasing intervals between reviews. Study something today, review it tomorrow, then in 3 days, then in a week. This pattern embeds information in long-term memory.
Elaborative interrogation means asking why and how questions about the material. Don't just accept facts. Ask, why is this true? How does this work? What's the mechanism? This deeper engagement creates stronger understanding.
Teach the material to someone else. If you can explain a concept clearly to another person, you truly understand it. Study groups where you take turns teaching each other are incredibly effective.
Create connections and associations. Link new information to things you already know. Create mental maps showing how concepts relate. These connections make information more memorable and meaningful.
Use multiple modalities. Read the material, listen to explanations, watch videos, draw diagrams, discuss with others. Different approaches activate different parts of your brain and strengthen understanding.
Practice retrieval in varied contexts. Don't just study in one location at one time of day. Varying your study context makes knowledge more flexible and accessible in different situations, like exam halls.
And test yourself frequently under realistic conditions. Practice exams are one of the best study tools. They show you what you know and what you don't. They reduce anxiety, they improve performance.
Let me share
A detailed personal story about overcoming academic challenges. In my second year of university, I took organic chemistry. This is notoriously one of the hardest undergraduate courses, and I was struggling badly. What made it so difficult for you?
The volume of information was overwhelming. So many reactions, mechanisms, structures to memorize. And it wasn't just memorization. You had to understand underlying principles. The exams required applying knowledge to novel situations. I couldn't keep up.
How were you studying initially?
Ineffectively. I was just reading the textbook over and over, highlighting things, making flashcards of individual facts. But I wasn't understanding the big picture. I wasn't practicing application, and I was procrastinating because the material felt so daunting.
What changed?
I failed the first exam, got a 42%. I was devastated, but it was a wake-up call. I realized what I was doing wasn't working, and I needed to change my approach completely. So I went to office hours for the first time. I talked to my professor.
What did they suggest?
She recommended several things. First, form a study group. Second, use practice problems extensively rather than just reading. Third, draw out mechanisms rather than just memorizing them. Fourth, come to office hours regularly with specific questions.
And did you implement these suggestions?
I did. I found 3 classmates who were also struggling. We met twice a week. We'd work through problems together, we'd quiz each other, we'd explain concepts to each other. This collaborative learning made a huge difference.
What about the practice problems?
I shifted my study time from passive reading to active problem solving. I'd attempt practice problems, struggle with them, figure out where I went wrong, understand the correct approach. This was harder than just reading, but so much more effective.
And the outcome?
My grades steadily improved. Second exam, I got 68%. Third exam, 79%. Final exam, 85%. I ended the course with a B. Not amazing, but considering where I started, it felt like a triumph.
What did you learn from that experience?
That struggling doesn't mean you're not capable. It means your current approach isn't working. I also learned the power of asking for help. I'd been too proud to go to office hours or admit I was struggling. Once I did, things got better. And I learned that effective studying is about quality and method, not just time spent.
That's such a valuable lesson. Now, let's talk about relationships with professors. How do you build productive relationships with instructors?
Attend office hours. This is the most underutilized resource. Professors set aside time specifically to help students. Use it. Come prepared with questions. Show engagement with the material.
Participate in class. Ask questions, contribute to discussions. This shows you're engaged and makes you memorable to professors. If you're invisible all semester and then ask for help, professors are less invested.
Communicate professionally. Email professors using proper etiquette. Address them appropriately. Be clear and concise. Proofread. Show respect for their time. Professional communication creates good impressions.
If you're struggling, communicate early. Don't wait until they're failing to ask for help. If you approach a professor midway through the semester saying you're having difficulty and want to improve, they'll usually help. If you approach right before the final, asking for special treatment, they're less sympathetic.
Show genuine interest in their field. Professors are passionate about their subjects. If you demonstrate real curiosity, ask thoughtful questions, engage with their research, they often become invested in your success.
And give them positive feedback when appropriate. If you found a lecture particularly illuminating or appreciated how they explained something, tell them. Everyone likes to know their work is valued.
Now, let's discuss managing academic pressure and expectations. How do you handle the stress of high expectations?
First, distinguish between healthy pressure and unhealthy pressure. Some pressure motivates. It pushes you to work hard and achieve. But excessive pressure causes anxiety, burnout, and diminished performance. Recognize when pressure crosses from motivating to destructive.
Set your own standards rather than just trying to meet others' expectations. What do you genuinely want to achieve? What matters to you? Your goals should drive you, not constant comparison to others or pursuit of external validation.
Practice self-compassion when you fall short. You will have disappointing grades sometimes. You will perform below your expectations. This is normal. It doesn't mean you're a failure. Treat yourself with kindness rather than harsh self-criticism.
Redefine success. Success doesn't have to mean perfect grades. Maybe success is understanding material deeply, even if exam performance doesn't reflect it. Maybe success is improvement over time. Maybe success is maintain balance while doing your best. You define what success means.
And remember that grades aren't everything. They matter, yes, but they don't define your worth or determine your future completely. Many successful people had mediocre academic records. Focus on learning, growth, and developing skills, not just grades.
Let's talk about academic integrity and avoiding plagiarism. This is crucial, but sometimes confusing for students. What do students need to know?
Understand what constitutes plagiarism. It's not just copying someone else's words verbatim. It's also paraphrasing someone's ideas without attribution, using someone's structure or argument without credit, submitting work you didn't do, collaborating when individual work is expected.
Learn proper citation practices. Every field has conventions. Learn them. Cite sources consistently and correctly. When in doubt, cite. Oversighting is much better than underciting.
Use your own words and ideas whenever possible. Yes, you're engaging with other scholarship, but develop your own analysis, your own arguments, your own synthesis. That's what academic work is about.
And understand that plagiarism isn't just wrong ethically. It has serious consequences. You can fail assignments, fail courses, be expelled. It can affect your entire academic and professional future. The risks far outweigh any perceived benefits.
Now let's discuss balance. How do you balance academic demands with the rest of your life?
Set priorities explicitly. What matters most to you? Academics are important, but so are health, relationships, personal development. Decide what you're
willing to sacrifice and what you're not. Then make choices aligned with those priorities. Schedule everything, not just academic work. Put social activities, exercise, hobbies on your calendar too. If you only schedule studying, those other important things won't happen.
Learn to say no. You can't do everything. Every commitment you make takes time from something else. Be selective. It's better to do fewer things well than many things poorly.
Create boundaries between academic and personal time. When you're studying, focus on studying. But when you're with friends or family, be present. Don't let academic worries bleed into every moment.
And recognize that sometimes life happens. Family emergencies, health crises, personal difficulties. Academic success is important, but it's not the only important thing. Sometimes other things take priority, and that's okay.
Let's talk about transitions between educational levels, moving from high school to university, or from undergraduate to graduate school. These transitions create unique challenges. What helps?
Recognize that what worked before might not work now. High school strategies might not work in university. Undergraduate approaches might not work in graduate school. Be willing to adapt.
Seek out resources and support specifically for your level. Orientation programs, academic advising, peer mentors. These resources help you understand expectations and navigate new environments.
Give yourself time to adjust. The first semester at a new level is often the hardest. You're figuring things out, making mistakes. That's normal. Don't judge your ability based on initial struggles.
Build community. Connect with peers who are navigating the same transition. Share strategies, support each other. Knowing others face similar challenges makes you feel less alone.
And ask questions. There are no stupid questions when you're new to something. People expect you won't know everything. Taking advantage of that grace period to learn norms and expectations is smart.
As we come toward the end of this episode, I want to emphasize something crucial. Academic challenges are normal. Everyone faces them. Struggle doesn't mean you're not smart enough or capable enough. It means you're being challenged, which is how growth happens.
The students who succeed aren't necessarily the most naturally intelligent. They're the ones who develop effective strategies, who ask for help, who persist through difficulties, who adapt their approaches when something isn't working.
Academic skills can be learned. Study skills, time management, writing, critical thinking, these aren't innate talents. They're skills you develop through practice and guidance. If you're struggling, it doesn't mean you can't succeed. It means you need to develop certain skills.
And it's okay to struggle. It's okay to find things difficult. It's okay to fail sometimes. These aren't signs you should quit. They're part of the learning process. What matters is how you respond to challenges.
So I want to encourage you. If you're facing academic challenges, you're not alone. Millions of students are dealing with similar struggles. There are resources, strategies, and people who can help. Reach out. Try different approaches. Be patient with yourself. Keep going.
I'd love to hear from you. What academic challenges are you facing? What strategies
Have helped you? What do you struggle with most? Share in the comments. Let's support each other. And please, if you found this episode helpful, like and subscribe to English Club for more English learning podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.
Remember, your academic journey is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be ups and downs, periods of struggle and periods of success. That's normal. What matters is persistence and continuous improvement.
Be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress, even small wins. Ask for help when you need it. Use available resources. Develop effective strategies. Take care of your well-being.
And keep perspective. Education is important, but it's not everything. It's a tool for building the life you want, not the entirety of your worth as a person.
You are capable of overcoming your academic challenges. You have more resources and resilience than you might realize. Believe in yourself. Put in the effort, and don't give up.
See you in the next episode. Keep practicing your English, and remember, you're doing great.
And keep working toward your academic goals. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger and more capable. You've got this. Bye for now.